There is no winning a war. There's no such thing. Everyone loses in the war. Right? My guide, he introduced himself as Drake. He started to help me understand that the most important thing for us in this life, the most important thing, is authenticity. And that I needed to find out who I was authentically before I could even start this journey towards heaven, towards home. He helped me see that there was a version of me that I would go and be with my mom and dad. There was a version of me that would go be with my friends, a version of me that would go work construction sites or work different TV shows. So I knew there was all these different versions of me. And he helped me understand that I could stitch together a core of who I was between all of those situations. And that's who I really was, my authentic self. And he helped me understand that that was the most important self, was my authentic self, because that's the one that could grow. All the other different aspects of who I was, I couldn't grow because they were false aspects. But the authentic core of who I was, I could develop that core and get it ready for heaven. And that's where we're going. There's divine purpose behind our earth time. The purpose to earth is a classroom, and it never was a courtroom, no matter what religion teaches you. It's always been a classroom. In fact, most of the universe refers to earth as Earth School. And it's one of the hardest schools there is because there is so much resistance, so much hardship here. But it's also one of the schools where you can gain the most. You live a lot harder life here, but you gain so much more than you do in other schools. Love was my third thing I had to learn about, and loving everyone specifically. That was different for me because I thought that would have been the first and foremost, most important thing. But Drake helped me understand that we can't even feel love, let alone share love, until we can be authentic and understand who we are and why we're here. Once I put those two together, I could actually love someone else as well as myself. He helped me understand that our Creator loves all of us so much that our Creator has left an inner voice. It could be called the spirit, could be called intuition, and it could be called gut instinct. And if we want, we can turn it on and we can strengthen that. And one of the ways to do that is to understand our relationship with technology. The technology itself is going to either be lifting you up or tearing you down. And if you're not sure what it's doing, it's tearing you down because it's only one direction or the other. And when it's lifting you up, you know it's lifting you up. So if you don't know what your technology is doing, then we know for sure it's tearing you down. Technology is just an energy. It's something that can be used for great good or great bad. The difference is us, what we allow in our own lives. And I personally subscribe to something called the Hour of Power, where I will make sure whatever I'm doing first thing in the morning for 30 minutes and whatever I'm doing last of my day for the last 30 minutes of the day. I call that the Hour of Power because what we put in that sacred time, it becomes who we worship. It becomes who we are as spiritual beings living this physical experience. It starts framing who we are. So it's important for us to really set an intention and set a love to that sacred space. And as we do that and we put really good stuff in there, we start transitioning into a better person, into a great being, into a life that we want to have. But it puts us in the driver's seat and not life. He helped me understand that this midway point of going to heaven, there's a fence in the middle of the midway point, and it was called prejudice. And he helped me understand that I couldn't get to heaven until I released all prejudice. And I said, Drake, you're talking to the one guy who has no prejudice in his life. I really believed that at the time. I have 2 Korean sisters. I felt that I was the least racist. I was the least prejudiced in the whole world. And he lovingly put his arm on my shoulder. And he was like, Vinny, I'm so grateful that you don't have any prejudice. But what do you feel about prejudiced people? And when he said that, I was like, well, I'll tell you about prejudiced people. They are so close-minded. They are so ridiculous. I can't believe they choose on race or religion or lifestyle to ostracize and to cut out. I was like, I hate prejudiced people, so that should let me get into heaven. He lovingly showed me I was joining the prejudice team by hating prejudiced people. Then Drake showed me one of the most prejudiced people I knew in my life. He showed me that person's path, and that I got to walk a mile in their shoes to kind of understand a little bit. I still didn't agree with him in any way, shape, or form, but I understood. But I also understood the key to helping them out of that is someone who didn't fit the stereotype. Someone like that who could come up and love that person, that's someone who can heal them of their prejudiced nature. If you can show enough love or pour enough love on the most prejudiced of souls and hearts, you can pull them out of it. You can save them. There's power in creation. And the power of it is our thoughts that we literally create with our thoughts. If we can control our thoughts, we can control our creation. No matter what our life is throwing at us, if we can control our thoughts, we can control the outcome. The next step towards my progress was to understand that if my thoughts could create, how important it would be for me to avoid negative influences. Because if I put negative influences on my thoughts, I'll start thinking negative things. And so I need to really seek out positive influences and avoid negative influences in all their forms. Negative influences are entertainment, they're news, they're some friends, they're different apps on our phone that increase drama or increase reactivity to each other. And that was really important for me to understand that as we avoid negative influences, we also understand that evil has a purpose. Without a bad choice, there is no good choice. It's very important that we have the option of evil so that we get to choose. Because if we remove all bad choices, if we remove all evil, there's nothing to be learned. We're here to learn. This is a classroom. My last thing I learned with Drake before I got into heaven was that we're all one. We're not one being, but we are one in unity, in purpose, in light, and in love. And for us to hurt or harm another finger on the hand of our Creator, it's to hurt only ourselves. There is not a way to win by cutting off one of your fingers. There's not a way. There is no winning a war. There's no such thing. Everyone loses in the war.